I think it's probably like very early on in the project where we kind of took the game in one direction, and then after some feedback from some of the lecturers, we had to 180 2 or 3 times. And that felt pretty defeating because like there's only so many good ideas in the world, and I felt like we spent a lot of them.
And to be fair, we also like they kind of got to a point where we actually just repurposed some of the ideas, or we like just renamed it, or it was the same thing but we just painted it up differently because like actually we were really attached to it. Bubbles.
Also,
Bubbles.
I had this thing in my head where I was thinking like, oh, it's a beautiful lush forest, and then the whole direction pivoted. No, it's gonna be really miserable and dead. So
it was always that. You just didn't want. You're like, no.
I think that was the thing though, because a lot of the time we just underway we forgot things that we had initially agreed on, but because they were never written down, there was nothing there.
Just
and we wrote down so much as well. We have so many different design documents and narrative design documents and asset lists and.
Putting up with all of you.
How dare you? MJ's a delight.
No, that's right.
I think I like the moments when I'm like, I got this idea, how about we do it like that? And somebody's like, say no more, I know exactly what you're thinking. And it's like one mind, and you do a task and the other person exactly knows what it's supposed to be, and you just feel like you're telepathically connected with each other about exactly what you're making with the game.
That's actually very true, yeah.
It's very satisfying.
There's a lot of moments like that where we didn't even have to be sat next to each other. It was just like across computer. I could just look at someone.
You're like,
And it was like, you want that?
Yeah.
I already got it.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I think there was also quite a lot of moments where like not only would we say yes, but we go like yes and then make it even better.
Yeah.
We have a lot of complementary strengths on this team. I think that's certainly it. Like I don't know if I have a best moment, but there's just been an overall feeling of like we just have each other's back. Certainly when I wanted to throw the story out near the end. And like had that whole thing with all of you guys at the end of the day, like I know it's the end of the day, but I want to kind of start all of this all over again. And at no point was there pushback or anything. It was like, no, cool. Yeah, we believe in you, go for it. And I think that's true of all of us for each other.
So I mean, as a person who did this project last year as well, last year was very much a first week we did all of the design, and then the remaining 8 weeks was just production as we had planned it, whereas this project was absolutely not that. And I guess I expected that to some degree, but just the amount of twists and turns we had to take to get to this point, that was not something I could foresee.
Just in the nature of our game being more experimental, it meant that the whole process, what we had been learning for this year and the previous year, went a little bit out the window, and we had to work a bit more on our feet, which was both very interesting but also a little bit stressful at times, because there was multiple points. I mean, even just as a programmer, that I wasn't sure if what I was doing would actually end up in the game, and I had to be okay with that.
And I guess in art, there was a lot of came into the project thinking like, oh, it's just going to be a lot of trees and flowers, basically. And then it was poison water, and then it was blight pustules or something. And then it was a lot of concrete and like broken factories and this sort of thing. I was like, oh God. So you just go on Google and be like, how to draw concrete. And like, I had a couple of weeks where that was just my job, like going on Google and figuring out how to do light filtering through leaves or how to draw concrete.
Yeah, you definitely have to be like super flexible during this. Like I think all of us have had to like kill so many of the things that we held.
So many darlings have been killed throughout this. Yeah, but I think especially you, but like everyone is like if you come forward with a thing, or you're gonna cut something off, like there's always the follow-up question of why.
Yeah.
So like, why do you want that? Oh, I want to do this. I want to add this in. Why? Or I think we need to cut this. Why? And it's like having that question led to a pretty honest and like frank discussion on why we wanted things in or out. So it never really felt personal, at least not to me. It never felt like, oh, my stuff's been cut. I don't feel like I've got, yeah.
It's our game, collectively our game.
Yeah.
I mean, have you seen them?
hot, sweaty, loud. That's just Alex.
Correct. Well, sometimes I need to go for a pint in the middle of the day, all right, or I get antsy.
You never did that.
No. I make jokes all the time, but no, it was good. I guess like just the same as what I just said. Like it was wholesome. It was supportive. We get ratty with each other and we can get grumpy with each other. But like we're human. You can't always be on the same page. But it's really supportive. I think. Like I definitely felt a lot of support from all you guys doing this. So for me, supportive.
Well, going into it as friends and still being able to come out of this as even better friends
Well.
is... Hey! I mean, for me, it's more than I could ever ask for.
I think it's been great. Like the team just works so well together, but also like I feel like I have gotten better as a team worker. Just like learning how I work and how I communicate with people, and then adjusting and learning how other people communicate, and just being able to work through things like that in some teams might cause rifts between people, but instead we've just all sort of elevated each other to be better than we were before that. So yeah, it's been great.
Definitely inspires some of my growth spurts as game developers.
Oh,
Yep.
I definitely feel like I'm a better designer writer
Yeah.
than I was 9 weeks ago.
I'm actually confident in going into like actual game design like work environment after doing this. Like,
Which says something, because you
Absolutely.
actually were the closest to actually being that environment.
yeah.
And also says a lot about like how effective the program is, well the project is,
Mhm.
and like creating this pseudo work environment.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it does what it says on the tin essentially, but I mean also just in comparison to doing it online last year, now it's just in person. It kind of feels like a job, and coming into the office every day at the same time and leaving, like it's good.
Also, just the support and encouragement that we've gotten from all of the tutors, like Chris, Justin, everybody. Mario, like everyone has been so super supportive and inspiring and encouraging, and it's like whenever you come to work and Chris holds a speech, it's like like you're just ready to do your best work every day when those guys
Like
are
him
around.
walking
Like,
in and kind of saying the final countdown.
yeah.
That was funny. Like he walked in whistling the final countdown. I was like, that's clever. That appealed to me. My team.
Get a good writer.
Somebody who can write a story right first time.
They don't exist. They don't exist.
Change the engine.
Yeah, change the
Change the
engine.
engine,
Change the
absolutely.
engine.
Yeah, have a
Not
working
working
team
click team again.
Yeah.
Maybe not do it well. I mean, so there's not really a lot of leeway, but with doing it in the summer, it would be nicer to do it at a different time.
Hot.
Yeah.
See, I don't mind that so much, but do you know what I think would be super cool? And I said this when we did the game jam. We did the game jam and that was 48 hours. And I was like, imagine if we had more time. And then doing this and having 9 weeks, like imagine if we had more time. Imagine if we had an extra month. And not just to tweak. I'm not saying I want another month on this game. But if we can do this in 9 weeks, imagine what we could do in 12 weeks, or 15 or whatever. Like it would be cool to do it a little bit longer. I know that wouldn't work for everyone, but
But given the time frame that we have, is there anything?
13 weeks.
I think that's just game development though. Like that's why Duke Nukem Forever took like 13 years to come out. It's like, we just need a bit more time, like what if we did this instead?
This game will never be done.
I don't know. I got a lot out of this. I got more out of this than I thought I would,
Yeah.
and I went in with high expectations. That's a difficult one to answer for me, anyway.
For me, it's been funny seeing the art that I produced during the first week of the project and looking at the art that I'm doing now in the last week of the project.
And you wanting to change all the art that you did in the
It's
first.
like, hold on, this looks so much better than the old shit we had.
Can't relate.
It's like, what if we had this better tree instead?
You see that tree? Better.
It comes with realistic lighting.
So what
now.
you're saying is we need more time. I actually have a thing. I was away this weekend, and I met this person, and they asked me what I did for a living or what I do, and I was like, I'm a writer. And I was saying this to you this morning, like I wouldn't have said that before this started. I've been writing for years, but I wouldn't have said that before this started. Where like I would, like I'd do that. I kind of want to. I just but bollocks. Like this weekend, I was, no, I'm a writer. Actually, I've got a game coming out next weekend.
It's something that you have confidence in now.
Yeah,
which
like-
I think is so different
Yeah.
for all of us.
Mm.
Like you before that, you wouldn't even call yourself an artist. You just were like, oh yeah, I'm just like that girl who draws. It's like, no. Now you have the confidence to say that you're an artist.
Yeah.
I'm proud of this game. I'm proud that it's going to be released. I'm more proud of what we've done together. I'm more proud of each individual one of these people next to me, because I can't believe how above and beyond all of them have done. Like the work, effort. You're supposed to hang out with people smarter than you. You're supposed to hang out with people more talented than you, so that they help build you up. And for me, that's happened every day I've been at work.
At least for me, it's been supremely humbling to be able to see this project go from a pitch deck to actually being the kind of for the most part, at its core, it is the game that we pitched, and now it's a game that's going to be published and available for everybody
played
to
by
play.
tens of people.
There's dozens of us.
It's definitely a bit like nerve-wracking thinking about like the reception of the game on the other end. Like obviously we quite like it, but we're a little bit biased.
I'm terrified of like my brother, a very supportive person, don't want him to play it. Like
it's hard because like every time there was a bug or something during the playtest, you feel like you have to justify it, whereas you can't do that when it's on the other side, when it's on the internet.
And that's what Chris says, that like you can't ship the whole team with every
can't
copy of the
ship
game.
Katya with the game.
Also, there's always going to be something that people will find or don't like, and you just have to be okay with putting your creation out there and let people tear it apart.
We're super proud of it, and we hope you enjoy it just as much as we've enjoyed this whole process.
Yeah, 100%. I would do this again.
Yeah.
100%.
It's pretty good.